Welcome, my love. Sweetheart, I am so thrilled you are here with me today. We're jumping right into this live explainer of A Course in Miracles. And let me tell you, this is a deeply personal masterclass on something that is going to completely change the way you experience your daily life. We're talking about ending our daily suffering by unpacking a core teaching from the Course. We're going to break down exactly what the atonement is and guide you straight to the truth. Let's go. So, I have a serious question for you, sweetheart. Are you ready to wake up? Honestly, are you just exhausted? Are you tired? A big fat willingness to this explainer? Let's dive deep into healing, baby, because we are waking up from the dream today. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room right off the bat. The atonement is probably the biggest misunderstanding in spirituality. When most people hear the word atonement, they instantly think of punishment. They think it means paying for their sins, making painful sacrifices, doing penance, or dealing with a God who is just constantly disappointed in us. We somehow think we have to suffer to deserve love again. But, sweetheart, I need you to throw that idea in the trash right now. Here is the brilliant truth: the atonement is simply the correction of a mistaken perception. It is not punishment. It radically redefines absolutely everything. It's not about doing penance. It's about waking up to the fact that we never actually separated from infinite love. The only mistake we ever made was believing the thought that we are separate, alone, and isolated from our source. That is literally it. When we believe that massive lie of separation, we get all this messy stuff. We get the anxiety, the fear, the desperate need for approval on social media, the jealousy, the obsession with trying to control everything. Does that sound familiar? Well, whenever you feel these things, you just have to laugh and say, the ego is doing its thing again. The ego creates all our psychological suffering through this completely false belief that we're isolated, that something is terribly wrong with us, and that we have to fight the world just to survive. And there's a profound truth we have to realize here. The ego lives terrified. This exposes the ego's biggest, darkest secret. Listen, even when the ego gets exactly what it wants, even when it succeeds, when it smiles for the perfect social media post, when it gets the big bank account, when it gets the hot partner, it is still absolutely terrified. Why? Because it's built on an impossible lie. It's built on the idea that you can actually be separated from infinite love. And if you believe that, well, you're going to spend your whole life frantically trying to fill an unfillable void. But here is the profound, revolutionary truth that the Course teaches us: the separation never truly happened. We are merely dreaming our separation from the Source. It's like dreaming you're being chased. You sweat, you cry, your heart is pounding in your chest. But when you finally wake up, you realize you were never actually in danger. The atonement simply taps us on the shoulder to remind us, hey, sweetheart, wake up. You are safe. You never left God. And because of that, I need you to hear me loud and clear. You are not a victim. I say this with so much love, but very firmly: no more drama. No more drama is allowed, my love, because you are not the terrified, flawed, lacking character you invented in your dream. You remain exactly as God created you, whole, innocent, and completely untouched by the chaos. Now, how do we actually apply this daily? Let's look at a highly relatable example like an unanswered text message. The ego goes into a complete panic, right? They don't care about me. I must have done something wrong. I'm not enough. It literally tortures us. But the atonement grounds us in unshakable peace. It says, my value does not change. I do not need to use this situation to attack myself. Do you see the difference there? Let's move to another big one: losing money. Financial anxiety is so huge. The ego screams, I'm unsafe. I'm going to fail. My whole value depends on my bank account. It's this intense terror of scarcity. But the atonement gently reminds us, true abundance does not depend on the world. My peace cannot depend on numbers on a screen. It's a gorgeous reminder of our true, internal, unending abundance. And of course, relationships. Oh boy, they become total battlegrounds for the ego. When you argue with someone, the ego insists, I have to win. I am right. They attacked me. But the atonement swoops in and says, look, we are both just asking for love right now. Sweetheart, we can consciously choose peace instead of desperately needing to be right, because being right is just the ego's booby prize. Peace is the real treasure. Now, I need to make this very, very clear. This is not spiritual fluff. This is mental training. We are not spiritually bypassing here. I'm definitely not telling you to quit your job, ignore your raw emotions, or paste a fake smile on your face. This requires highly practical moment to moment mental training to literally reinterpret how we see the world. We are undoing years and years of practicing fear. So, how do we actually do this? We introduce our ultimate helper. In the Course, the Holy Spirit is the memory of love within us that corrects perception and reinterprets fear. When you're freaking out, this is your moment to literally scream, Holy Spirit, take the wheel. It's that divine part of our mind that steps in and transforms our vicious attacks into desperate calls for love. And when we allow that to happen, we experience the true miracle. The true miracle isn't suddenly manifesting $1 million or finding your soulmate on some dating app. No. The miracle is the exact, quiet, beautiful moment you shift from fear to love. It's the moment you stop interpreting your daily life through lack and your mind finally begins to heal. So, the crucial point of this explainer is how we actually practice this. Here is your 3-step of this training is forgiveness. And this true definition is going to absolutely blow your mind. Forgiveness is stopping the use of the past to maintain separation and feed guilt. True forgiveness isn't about being a doormat or allowing abuse or having zero boundaries. It is simply refusing to let the ego use the past to keep you chained to pain right now. You are choosing not to feed the guilt anymore. But I do have to warn you about something. The ego interprets peace as a threat. When you start this mental training, the healing might feel very uncomfortable at first. Why? Because the ego relies on conflict, drama, comparison, and victimhood to even know who it is. If you take away the drama, the ego feels like it's literally dying. Just know that this resistance is totally normal. Keep going. As we push through that discomfort, we start to see a beautiful, radical transformation in our relationships. We move from the ego's greedy question of, what can I get from you? To the atonement's question, how can I see us through love? We drop the needy attachment, the manipulation, the constant need for validation. And when we drop that control, genuine, real connection finally gets to emerge. Let's check in. What are the amazing, tangible side effects of this? Well, these are the signs you are actually practicing the atonement. You start reacting way less. You have way less need to defend yourself. You don't get offended over every little thing. You forgive much faster. You depend way less on external validation. And my absolute favorite, you start feeling peace for absolutely no reason at all. Over time, true peace just becomes your natural state. I want to close our explainer class today with this profoundly emotional core truth from A Course in Miracles. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. What is real in you can never, ever be lost. The separation was just a mistake in perception. So I leave you with this final thought, sweetheart. What if you really, truly never left love at all? Thank you so much for joining me, my loves. Start practicing that big fat willingness today.